Impromptu speaking. Come on, do with me a chair dance. All right. Well, for debaters, impromptu speaking is what I call debating candy, because people who debate can do this very easily, and people who do this can debate. But essentially, real impromptu speaking is when you get three topics, a single word, an abstract concept, and a quote. And you're given 2 minutes to make a mental plan, and then 3 to 5 minutes to speak. And that's an actual speaking category in tournaments. And it's really the most popular one. It's so fun. They're so snappy. But in this impromptu speaking, you're going to get 1 minute to think and then 2 minutes to speak on it. So
Okay.
I'm going to show you three topics, and here they are.
Fear rules our lives. Just about everything we do is determined by fear. Why? Because it's an evolutionary advantage to be fearful of things, fearful of our environment, fearful of predators, of being excluded from the group, fear of what to eat, what not to eat. Where are we going to find our next meal? Going back to the last question, will we propagate our species? So finding a mate, fear of not finding a mate. All of these things are fear-based, and we have this negative perception of fear that it's bad to be fearful of things, but in all honesty, it is a driving force in our lives and our society, and when we use it the right way, it can be very beneficial and it is essential. So we need to be in touch with that fear to learn to use it so that we are not just fearful of anything like going in an elevator, for example, which can be conquered, but it can really impact people's lives. We can use that fear to drive us towards the right thing. So when we examine the fear, why am I scared of this elevator? Where did that come from? We can use that to benefit ourselves. In what ways? Well, fear can help push us away from something that may be dangerous to us. So, for example, that gut feeling we have of a stranger that we maybe have never met and we just get this bad feeling, listen to that, because there's something going on there. If you meet someone who wants to, wants you to invest in something and you just have this fear, it's a feeling that maybe we shouldn't do that. We need to go and investigate that. Fear is this benefit in our lives that we need to embrace, study within ourselves to move on to better and safer, more productive things.
Well done, James. Let's chat a little bit about fear. At what point, I mean, is it a constant kind of push and pull with fear, whether it's helping us or harming us? Like, is there a way of kind of striking a healthy balance? Because I know that if our ancestors didn't fear the saber-toothed lion, the saber-toothed lion would eat them for lunch. So fear helped them kind of prepare for the reality of what's in front of them. And it's the same thing when you're going to a debate tournament. If you're not scared, I always ask the debate, are you guys scared? And when I hear them say no, then it makes me think you're not prepared. You don't really realize what you're going to face. And so the fear keeps you sharp and it keeps you kind of ready. What do you think about
that? I think because that's a performance you're talking about. And I think performance is a very individual thing. Some people, the more prepared they are, they just don't have fear. They're excited. They just want to go out there and do it. But, really, we live in a society, we as North Americans, as Canadians, for the most part, there's almost nothing that's really, a predator to us, right? We're not on a daily basis facing life and death in the way that, the natural animals are. So, that fear that we live with is unwarranted in a way. And I think we need to get over that. But it is beneficial and it's constantly a give and take and can we use this? Can we not use it? So the most important thing is the recognition of it. And if we can then investigate it, then I think that's where we get benefit from it.
It is fear sells. It's one of those things that advertisers, it's like a propaganda technique. If you can find, somebody's fear center, and then present yourself as the solution to their fear,
Yeah,
then they'll be putty in your hands. So
you're right.
do people use fear to make money?
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's what's happening so much nowadays. Is that um, you know they've learned how to manipulate us using that exact system, and it is very effective. And it makes me worried for the future because I think to a certain extent we all get susceptible to it. We are all susceptible to it.
Yeah.
How much I don't know. I'm not even aware of it myself necessarily. How I'm being influenced.